YouTubers, hi, I'm back with the 25 books 2025. I recorded this one in 2024 in Great Yarmouth, and this book is absolutely heartbreaking. It really, really is. Honestly, I had generally no idea. Britney Spears, The Woman in Me. Okay, so I mean, let's face it, you didn't know about the conservatorship. You've been living under a rock for the last 3 years, but what this woman has been through is absolutely heartbreaking. I've actually seen Britney live. Saw her a few years ago. I can't remember which tour. She was at the O2. But in my sister's, and it was a really, really good night. She's amazing on stage. She can dance like you wouldn't believe. She's charismatic. She knows how to hold the audience. She's got a fantastic voice. And at the time she was at that concert, she was under the conservatorship, which is, millions of us saw her when she was under control of a family, which is absolutely heartbreaking. And read the blurb. In June 2021, the whole world was listening as Britney Spears spoke in open court. The impact of sharing her voice, her truth, was undeniable, and it changed the course of her life and the lives of countless others. The Woman in Me reveals for the first time her incredible journey and the strength at the core of one of history's greatest in pop music history. Right, this is Britney Spears' life on her own terms. Life on her own terms, and how it even opens out. Even in the prologue, there's such a melancholy air in this book. From the very first moment you read the prologue. As a little girl, I walked for hours alone in the silent wood behind my house in Louisiana singing songs. Being outside gave me a sense of aliveness and danger. When I was growing up, my mother and father fought constantly. He was an alcoholic. I was usually scared in my home. Outside wasn't necessarily heaven either, but it was my world. Call it heaven or hell, it was mine. Heaven or hell was mine. Making it clear, okay, from her very early youth, Britney Spears, her family life was so turbulent. So turbulent. Even though when she talks about her life in Louisiana, okay, there's some kind of wistfulness about it. A wistfulness of, is what my life was then, and a very, very complicated family history. I mean, the Spears family, oh my God. Okay, commit to asylums, adultery. It's an absolute nightmare. A great grandmother who moved from London to America and spent it in Oklahoma. Right, here you go. And even though, okay, the aspects of her family life being very, very happy, this bit here, okay, and a lot of it is her contempt towards her father, which is absolutely justified. What her father did to her was deplorable. I mean, since I read this book, then I saw some documentaries there on Sky about the conservatorship, about her life. What he did to her was absolutely horrific, okay? No father should do that to his child, okay? He didn't protect her, he exploited her. So damn him to hell, okay? Here you go. When father started drinking heavily, his business started to fail. The stress of having no money was compounded by the chaos of my father's extreme mood swings. I was particularly scared to get in the car with my dad because he was talking to himself when he was driving. I can't understand the words he was saying. It seemed to be his own world, right? So that's the thing. And this is the environment that she grew up with. So even from a very, very early age, okay, what is considered a normal, healthy relationship, she's never had. She's never had happy, loving parents with a normal, healthy relationship as a basis, a guideline, right, for what you would expect. But no wonder, okay, I mean, the people that she fell in love with, okay, are quite similar, and in many ways to her father. Drink too much and ready to exploit her. That's the thing. Because she learned that at a very, very young age, okay, that was normal. A man will exploit a woman. Basically, her father exploited her. The men in her life exploited her. Everyone in Britney's life has exploited her. It's despicable. Right. And when talks, okay, about her talent, okay, and she's a very, very talented woman. Britney Spears has got more talent in a single finger, okay, than most of us have in our entire bodies. She is despicably talented. She's talented in everything. Sing, dance. She's a natural actress, okay. You know Crossroads? I actually enjoyed Crossroads. I thought it was a really good film. I like the fact, okay, there was an argument, okay, if it was a teen film or pre-teen film or an adult film. I like the fact, okay, that no one could decide that because there's many, many layers to it. Right. Here you go. Yeah. I was quiet and small, but when I sang, I came alive. I had taken enough gymnastic classes to be able to move well. When I was 5 into a local dance competition, my talent was a dance routine done wearing the top cane they wearing the top hat and twirling the cane. I won. The mother started taking me around the contest all over the region. And with photos and videos, I'm wearing the ridiculous things. In third grade musical, I wore a baggy purple t-shirt with a huge purple bow on top of my head. Made me look like a Christmas present. It was horrible. So she works away for the talent circuit, with her mother at her side, basically doing that, okay? you know, basically pushing her into this. And the thing is this, is that she gets noticed, she gets spotted, okay? I mean, she's, as I said, so talented, it's ridiculous how talented Britney Spears is. Oh, so, and, but little things about this book I found so frustrating is, this book is her entire life, okay? Her entire life, and it is less than 300 pages long. It's 275 pages long. And there's so many things. Now, as a fan of Britney Spears, a casual fan, I've always liked her music, okay? She's poppy, yeah, she's quite fun, okay? And it's it breezes through her life so quickly. It rushes through it. Her entire life, 40 years of her life, okay, 270 pages. And there's so many things as a reader I wanted to know more. And I found it very frustrating. I couldn't help it. I absolutely couldn't help it, okay? Like this bit here, okay? It's when her and Mum, okay, are flying back to New York City, okay? Because she's got a job in a play, okay? Called A Bad Seed, All About Eve, okay? Sorry. I got a job in an understudy role in an off-Broadway musical Ruthless, inspired by The Bad Seed, All About Seed, Mame and Gypsy. I played a sociopathic child named Tina Denmark. Tina's first song was called Born to Entertain. It was close to home. The other understudy was a talented young actress named Natalie Portman. Now, I read a actual article quite recently, okay, where Natalie Portman actually says how she knows Britney Spears. Never knew that. Okay, tell me about this. Tell me about the show. What was the show like? You're playing the character, but tell me about the show. Who else did you work with? What was it like? You were an understudy, but tell me more. Tell me about your life in New York. It doesn't. It just rushes through this. It's like name dropping the K, but without any more depth to it, which I found very frustrating. And she applies to the Mickey Mouse Club first time. She doesn't get the cut. However, she applies again and does. Now, obviously, I'm British. I never watched the Mickey Mouse Club. When Britney Spears came on, she burst into the scene. It was Hit Me Baby One More Time. That was the first time people in Europe had ever heard of her. I'd never heard of her until that moment. In America, you've heard of her before because of the Mickey Mouse Club. I never had. So it was interesting to see about the Mickey Mouse Club. What was it like? What was it like working that kind of ensemble? How did it all work? Your actual experiences of working on the show. But that didn't happen. Okay, like this bit here. Right, here you go. The Musketeers quickly split into our own cliques, divided by the dressing rooms that we shared. Christina Aguilera and I were the youngest kids, and we shared a dressing room with the other girl, Nikki DeLuche. We looked up the other kids, Kay Russell, Ryan Gosling, and Tony Luca. I thought was so handsome. Quick connected with a boy named Justin Timberlake. Here you go. But that is so brief. Literally, this of the Mickey Mouse Club, okay, was very brief. No into depth. Aside from the fact, okay, she was on TV and getting her notice more. Right. And also, it's the only bit I really kind of got is when the show ended a year and a half after, and here we go. A lot of my castmates are going to New York, Los Angeles to continue chasing their dream, but I decided to go back to Kentwood. Whatever made it was a push-pull. Part of me wanted to keep building towards a dream. The other part of me wanted to live a normal life in Louisiana. For a minute, I had to let normalcy win. So she lets normalcy win. She lets it all win. Exactly. And then, of course, she's back on it. Okay? She is back into it. She gets spotted again. She decides to give it another shot, and then, obviously, auditions for another company. She's accepted, and when it comes to Hit Me Baby One More Time, it's interesting too because this was the first aspects of a very young woman, a teenager at the time. Okay, just trying to assert her time when it comes to the song. Here you go. Like this bit here, I generally like because I didn't know this. The night before we recorded Baby One More Time, I was listening to Soft Cell's Tainted Love. I fell in love with that sound. I stayed up late. I got into the studio tired. My voice fried. It worked. When I sang, it gave out gravelly in a way that sounded more mature and sexy. Right, we'll see sexier. Right, more mature and sexier. And when it came, the director for the video, Nigel Dick, was open to my ideas. In addition to the school bell calling the Saturday dancing, and it was important that they be cute boys. And I thought we should wear school uniforms to make it seem more exciting when we started dancing outside our casual clothes. We even got Miss Fee as my teacher. I found it hilarious to see her nerdy glasses and frumpy teacher clothes. Now, Miss Fee is her assistant. Miss Fee is the one, essentially her guardian, right, who was taking care of her when she was in New York. That's Miss Fee. Now, I was watching this documentary, okay, it actually showed Miss Fee, and it kind of showed her going through all the Britney paraphernalia she still has, and the fact that her father, Britney's father, and the entourage kind of cut her out more of the scene as it went along. So that's the thing. So Baby One More Time came out, and Britney was suddenly thrust into the spotlight. I mean, it was not an overnight success. I mean, from European standards, I guess it must. But she had, I guess, not the long haul to get there. Okay, the Mickey Mouse Club, auditioning, all those contests to get to Baby One More Time, and that was an incredible song. And to be honest, okay, it was still a very, very catchy song. I absolutely enjoyed that song. And so the thing is this, okay, when it comes out to the actual narrative of this book, it's not like linear. It goes and cuts back and forth a lot in time. This is like Britney sitting there and telling her life story in one coherent breath. Just one deep breath and it all comes out. It's tonally all over the place. It's hurried, it's rashed. And the reality is that this book is hurried and rashed because so many people in Britney's life stole her narrative. That's reality. They stole her narrative, they stole her voice for decades. So this is her getting it out in one breath before they could take it away again. That's the reality. I mean, the life story of this woman should have been told it came in 3 books. Right. But it didn't. This one. Yeah. Okay. And when it comes to the relationship with Justin Timberlake, now I remember this. I remember this in real time. And I remember how goddamn cruel the media were. Justin and Britney, okay? Britney and Justin, okay? The true love story. They were teenagers, for God's sake. Here you go. Justin Timberlake and I stayed in touch after the Mickey Mouse Club and enjoyed spending time together on the NSYNC tour. And shared experience at a young age, gave us a shorthand. There was so much in common. We met up when I was on tour and started hanging out during the day before shows and at other shows too. Pretty soon I realised I was head over heels in love with him. So in love with him, it was pathetic. Right. So in love with him. And yet he treated her, okay? He treated her badly. And when it comes to the media, now, I personally think that she held back. Britney held back in how the media treated this woman. It was absolutely god awful, okay, how they treated her. She was a commodity. She was a bright young female burst onto the scene, absolutely beautiful, with blonde hair, bouncy, okay, and the media, the paparazzi, were brutal. I do remember this. There was a countdown to when she became legal. There were websites out there dedicated to counting down the days until she turned 17. Until the days, okay, that she lost her virginity. Well, it was legal for her to lose her virginity. She did actually say, okay, well, the jokes on them, she actually lost it a couple of years earlier. But there was an obsession with her virginity, okay? People wanted her to be interviewed, okay, to be sexy but not too sexual. If she was too sexy, okay, she was a bad role model for children. If she wasn't sexy, okay, people criticised her for being it, okay, and I hate to use the word frigid. Right, they were good awful. Here we are. When it comes to interviews, okay, I had a hard time being as carefree as Justin. I couldn't help but notice that the questions he got asked by talk show hosts were different from the ones they asked me. Everyone kept making strange comments about my breasts, wanting me to have ever not had plastic surgery. Yes, plastic surgery. Are you a virgin or not? Right. What do you think of your lyrics of your songs? And she was blamed for so many stupid things that was ridiculous. Now, I remember when Hit Me Baby One More Time came out, okay? And it has the lines, my loneliness is killing me, yes, and all that. And it has the word, hit me baby one more time, okay? Everyone assumed, okay, it was basically glorifying domestic violence. Of course it's not. It's not glorifying DV, okay? However, she was blamed for the lyrics of a song where she didn't write. She's the singer. Here we are, right. The cameras were trained on me, waiting to see if I would react to this criticism. If I would take it, well, if I would cry. Did I do something wrong? I just danced my heart out on award shows. I never said I was a role model. What to do was sing and dance. But the MTV host kept pushing. What did I think of the comments telling me I was corrupting America's youth? Finally I said, some of them were very sweet. I'm not the children's parents. I just gotta be me. There are going to be people out there. I just know not everyone's going to like me. Here you go. It shook me up. That was my first real taste of a backlash that will last all year. It felt like every time I turned on an entertainment show, yet another person was taking shots at me, saying I wasn't authentic. Okay? I wasn't authentic. And I do remember, okay, actresses, so singers who came after Britney, okay, we were talking like the Avril Lavignes, the Christina Aguileras, that kind of thing. I mean, I remember, okay, Avril Lavigne saying, okay, you know, she's more authentic than Britney, okay, because she's more real, right, because she's more grunge, okay, whilst Britney, okay, was more pop. Right, so, yep, it's ridiculous, okay, what Hollywood, okay, what the music industry puts these women through. It is, and I champion Britney for speaking out. Absolutely. Absolutely. She was a teenager. Okay, she's not there to be a role model for your children. Okay, she's not there, okay, to teach the youth. She was just doing, okay, what she loved, and yet the media was just turned on her because it didn't fit what their standards were. In some of the interviews, okay, one of them actually saying, okay, I won't name the actual woman who said it. You find out online. Said that she wanted to she basically wanted to kill her. Okay, so yeah, and the interview with Diane Sawyer is mentioned in this book. I've actually watched it. It's online. Shame on you, Diane Sawyer. Absolute shame on you. Here you go. And when it came to her relationship with Justin, okay, I mean, the relationship with Justin, okay, was so turbulent, right? Britney is a person who was just looking for love, okay, looking for love, and she found it in all the wrong places, sadly. And when it came to Justin, okay, I mean, she assumed on the road, okay, with NC, Justin would be faithful, okay, right? So, well, Justin wasn't. And not fact, okay, Justin wasn't. Justin bragged about it to his friends, to her friends, to her face, okay? And, here you go. Right, my friends were shocked and believed Justin was only saying it because he was high and felt like bragging. There's rumours about him with various dancers and groupies. I let it all go, but clearly he slept around. So I did too, not a lot. One time with Robson, we went out one night, went to a Spanish bar. We danced and made out with him that night. I was with Justin for years, only had eyes for him with that one exception, which I admitted to him. And it was short to something that will happen when you're as young as we were. Justin and I moved past it and stayed together. I thought we were going to be together forever. I hope we would be. And then also, she becomes pregnant. Okay, now I had read about this in the media. Okay, what she went through, and she and Justin make the decision. Okay, to not follow it all the way through, right? And she does make it clear. Okay, that it's been okay. I don't know if it's the right decision, and if it just been left up to me, I never would have done it. And yet Justin was so sure he didn't want to be a father. But the only three people who knew at the period, okay, Britney's family didn't know into this, okay. It was a decision that she made, her, Justin, and Felicia, her assistant, okay, not to carry it through. Well, I didn't even tell my family. The only person who knew besides Justin and me was Felicia, who was on the hand to help me. I told her it might hurt a little bit, but you'll be fine, okay. So on the appointed day with only Felicia and Justin there, I took the little pills, and then she had cramps, and then Justin came into the bathroom, laying on the floor with me. At some point, he thought my music would help me, so he got his guitar and he laid over me strumming it, right? So I kept crying and sobbing until it was all over. It took hours. I don't even remember how it all ended, but I do 20 years later remember the pain and the fear, right? After that, I was so messed up for a while, especially because I did still love Justin so much. I was insane how much I loved him, and for me it was unfortunate. Should have seen a breakup coming, but I didn't. That is so heartbreaking that she went through that, okay? There's a part of me, okay, that just wished, okay, that she would have had. Now it is so easy to criticise Britney, and I mean there were so many things she could add. She could have just tipped off the paparazzi herself, okay, who are always coming after her. Tipped off the press. Britney's pregnant with Justin's baby, putting it out in the open, okay, making him face up to his responsibilities, and carried it through to the end. But deep down, okay, she was scared. When Justin was talking about his fear at becoming a father, didn't want to be a father, she felt compelled to go along with it, because Britney strikes me as a person, okay, who was always always putting others before herself. She did that for a very long time. She basically wants people to like her. She thought she was doing the right thing for herself and for Justin, but it caused her such excruciating pain. She remembers it so vividly 20 years later. Oh, it's heartbreaking. It is absolutely heartbreaking. And one thing I absolutely do love about this book is that Britney does not hold back in explaining the double standards and how women are exploited in the media. I respected that so much. Here you go. There's always been more leeway in Hollywood for men than for women. I obviously had men courage to talk about trash about women would become more famous and powerful, but I was shattered. The thought of my betraying him gave him the album more angst, gave it a purpose. Shit talking unfaithful woman. The hip hop world of that era loved the storyline where the theme was F you bitch. Get revenge on women was a perceived disrespect for all the rage at the time. Eminem's violent revenge song Kim was huge. The only problem with that narrative was that in our case it wasn't like that, and the song is Cry Me a River. Okay, that was the song he was plugging. At the time, he broke out of Britney, and the song was Cry Me a River. Right, and to be honest, you know what? I don't like that song. I never have. Okay, it's whingy. Cry me a river. It's whingy. Okay, right. And the thing is this, okay, right, and also once again with the double standard, okay, Justin had told everyone that he and I had a sexual relationship, which some people have pointed out depicted me as not only cheating, I'm not saying a word, but lying and hypocrite. Given that I had so many teenage fans, my managers and press, people had long tried to portray me as an eternal virgin, right? Yeah, oh, because it was a whole kind of, I think what it was, Britney said quite early on in her career, okay, it's like, oh, are you? Because I'm saving myself for marriage, and the narrative kind of run with that, okay, saving herself for marriage, and as she was a young woman at this point, okay, and how dare you, right? She was condemned, right, for it. I mean, how dare you burst everyone's bubble? Oh, remember the same people, okay, who complained about her? Other people, okay, had a goddamn countdown to when she became legal, right? This is that as Britney's got such a desperate need to be loved, absolutely desperate need to be loved. There's some lines in this book which I just need to read out because it's just sounds like this, okay? I've always been disturbingly empathic when people are feeling in Nebraska. I subconsciously feel it even now I'm thousands of miles away. Sometimes women's periods sync up. I feel my emotions are always syncing up with those around me. I don't know what hippie word you would use for it. Cosmic consciousness, intuition, psychic connection. What I know is 100% I can feel the energy of other people. I can't help but take it in. Right. At this point you might be saying to yourself, oh my god, is she really going to talk about this new age stuff? One more minute. Right. Because the point is, I was so sensitive and I was so young. I was still reading from the um, termination, okay, and the breakup. I didn't handle things well. Justin framed our time together with me as the bad guy, and I believed it. So ever since then, I felt like I'm under some sort of curse. And yet, I also started to hope that if it were true, if I had so much bad karma, it might well be up to me as an adult, as a woman, to reverse my bad luck, to bring myself good fortune. It's as if she wants to, basically say, okay, I'm empathic, I'm this, okay. But the problem I find with this book is one thing is the disturbing also lack of insight, okay. At various points, as Brittany truly acknowledged that she has an issue or has a problem, and she does. And this woman grew up literally, okay, from the age of like 16 into the public sphere. She has been what everyone else wants her to be, to the point where it's like she has no idea who she is. She wants to be seen as empathic. I can sense other women's periods. I can sense what's happening on the other side of the world, or in Alaska, or Nebraska, sorry. But this rushes so quickly. There was never an acknowledgement what was happening to me. Was it also happening to the other women around me? The other women, okay, who the media set up as my rivals? Watching them be exploited too. Watching them have to play the game. Christina Aguilera being the bad girl or pop. Oh, and she was, okay? She was, okay? Remember that song Dirty? Yeah, that's what it was billed as, okay? She was the more sexy alternative to Britney. You had Shakira, who her big song Whenever, Wherever was her riding on the, riding on the ground, riding on the ground again, shaking her body like that. Yes, right. So, just little bits like that. Now, I feel so much sympathy for Britney. However, she very, very, very acknowledges that she does have a problem. And it's quite clear from reading this that she does. Even from the way she is reading, even the way, okay, the right start of this book, it is so clear. She's getting it out in one breath because she is scared, okay, someone's going to take away her narrative again. And also because she desperately wants to be loved. Right. And one thing I also is, at various times, Britney does show her prowess as a writer, okay? It's when she meets up with Madonna, okay? It's before, okay, their famous kiss, okay? MTV kiss. Right, here you go. It is this bit here, okay? Right. Madonna's stream of confidence helped me see a lot about my situation with fresh eyes. I think it probably had some intuitive sense of what I was going through. I needed a little guidance at the time. I was confused about my life. She tried to mentor me. At one point, she did a registering ceremony with me to initiate me into Kabbalah, and she gave me a trunk full of Zohar books to pray with. Right, at the base of my neck, I tattooed a word in Hebrew that means one of the 70 names of God. Some Kabbalists think it means healing, which was the same thing I was trying to do. In many ways, Madonna did have a good effect on me. She told me I should try to take time out for my soul, and I tried to do that. She modeled a type of strength that I needed to see. There's so many different ways to be a woman in the industry. You could have a reputation of being a diva. You could be professional, you could be nice. I would try so hard to please my parents, to please the audience, to please everyone. Exactly, she's a pleaser. But the thing is this, okay, with her, having a conversation with Madonna, okay, I mean, I know, I absolutely love Madonna. I see Madonna, okay, I had floor seats this year, okay, now last year to actually see Madonna. Madonna's fantastic live. It's the whole kind of meeting up with Madonna, and what does Madonna try to do? Okay, is initiate her into Madonna's then at the time, okay, faith with Kabbalah, right? It's did did Madonna actually ask Britney if she wanted to have a red string ceremony? That's never mentioned. It's the whole, she put a red string on my waist, wrist, sorry, and we did a Kabbalah ceremony. So she makes it clear, okay, that everyone is exploiting Britney for their own means, and even Madonna herself, okay. I mean, I personally don't really think that kind of thing, okay, is cool, because there's no even mention in this book about Britney actually be interested in Kabbalah. It's like Madonna suddenly appeared, okay, on the scene, okay, tying a red wrist around the thing, and memory says Britney was wearing that in the every time I try to fight I fall song. Here you go. Right. Yes. She was actually wearing that. So making it clear that everyone is that. And the thing is, when she had her sons, okay, when she finally married Kevin Federline, it just got even worse for her. She thought she found love with Kevin, and it clearly never didn't. So it clearly didn't work out, as we all know. And the paparazzi were just unleashed on her. They were so vicious to her. It was unbelievable. And she has her sons very close together in age. Okay, a few months after the birth of her first one, Sean Preston, and she's pregnant with her second, Jaden. And let's be here, okay, right. It's probably why I need a gun, I said to the camera, which probably didn't go over so well. I was at my wit's end. The magazine seemed to laugh at nothing more than a photo they could run with. Britney Spears got huge. Look how she's not wearing makeup. It is two things worse, some kind of sin. If gaining weight was something unkind I'd done to them personally, a betrayal, at what point did I promise to stay 16 for the rest of my life? Because the media wanted to keep her at 16, say 17 for the rest of her life. And I do remember those headlines. I absolutely remember those headlines of, when she appeared back on tour after, birth of her children, suddenly everyone's saying again how much bigger she got. Yeah, because she's now mother of 2 children. Of course, Kid Boy was going to change. But it wasn't good enough for the media. They just attacked her about everything. Okay, of how disjointed this book is. When it comes to Britney's narrative style, okay, is one thing I do applaud is she does acknowledge her mental health issues. She absolutely acknowledges that. Okay, and the thing especially comes to, okay, the fact is that she had 2 children at very close length of time, okay, Jaden and Sean, and she struggled with a lot with her mental health. When she says, okay, she wants to replace the wood floors, okay, with marble, I was like, that's ridiculous, you'll fall over. But she wanted white. She wanted a place of whiteness, okay, a place of tranquility, a place of safety. She wanted, if I could turn my outside white and pure and clean, it basically will be a soothe for my soul. But she was at this point very troubled. And one thing I do applaud, it does really go into depth, okay, the fact that she definitely had postpartum depression, which wasn't a conversation people were actually having 20 years ago. Here you go. I hope that any mother reading this who are having a hard time will get help early and will channel their feelings into something more healing than white marble floors. Because I know now that I will display just about every symptom of prenatal depression, sadness, anxiety, fatigue. Once the babies were born, I added on my confusion and obsession about the baby's safety, which was racking up more media attention. Being a mum is challenging, even without trying to do everything under a microscope. With Kevin away, no one was around to see me spiral, except every paparazzo in America. And they went after her. Okay? They chased her. There's that moment where she shaves her head. It's just, the media did this to her. The media did this to her, trying to basically conform this woman into being something what they wanted, okay? A product, a commodity. Eventually she was going to break, okay? But the thing is this. Now, one thing though, I did realise reading this book is there is a sparing lack of insight as well, okay, or Britney actually admitting that she does have a problem with drugs. And this bit here, okay, right, here you go. I never had a drinking problem. I like to drink, but it was never out of control. Do you want to know my drug of choice? The only thing I ever did, really did have a drinking, Adderall. The amphetamine is given to kids for ADHD. Adderall made me high, yes, but I found more appealing was it gave me 3 hours of feeling less depressed. It was the only thing that worked for me as an antidepressant. And I really and I really felt like I needed one of those. She gives the impression that because she's always, as she claims, stayed away from anything hard, okay, anything illicit, okay, anything, okay, that's not prescribed, right, it's okay, and it's not, right. She's quite blasé of the fact that she was, and she admits at this point, abusing Adderall, and it may be a prescription, however, abusing it, it's still an issue, if you will. But a lack of insight. It's a case of, as I was doing this but not that, it's okay, and it's not okay. It's a lack of insight. It's a lack of actually taking responsibility for our own health as well. Right, absolutely. And the thing is this, it got to the salt point, okay, where Jaden James and Sean Preston, that Kevin, they split up, and because she was the one who initiated it, she was made out in the media to be the bad guy, okay, and it gets to the point, and we all remember this because it was absolutely tragic. And I remember actually watching this because it was in the news in the UK and being like, what is going on? Here you go, right. It's when her children are taken away from her, right, or Kevin won't let her see her children, who are at the point. Jaden James was 5 months old and Sean Preston was 17 months. The paparazzi watched it all happen. I can't describe the humiliation I felt. I was cornered. I was out being chased like always by these men waiting for me to do something they could photograph. So that night I gave him some material. I went into a hair salon and took all the clippers and I shaved off all my hair. Everyone thought it was hilarious. Look how crazy she is. Even my parents acted embarrassed by me, but now I seem to understand that I was simply out of my mind with grief. But children had been taken away from me. Right. That is absolutely heartbreaking what she's going through. A clear mental health distress. What she needed, okay, was psychiatric intervention, proper psychiatric intervention, okay? Actual assistance in dealing with her issues, okay? Because there were numerous, okay? She admits, okay, that she was abusing Adderall. She admits, okay, that she drinks, okay, but she doesn't have to get drunk, but she does drink. Combine those two, that is an issue. And I do remember that because it was absolutely heartbreaking for everyone involved. She had lost 24-hour custody of her children. They were living with their father, Kevin Federline. It's when she's in a relationship with a photographer who's not named in this book, okay, probably for his own protection. It's for her, okay, is right. When she has that intervention, okay, we said to the conservatorship, and conservatoryship, here you go, and it's for her, okay, right. I hadn't done anything illegal that I never shot. I had my moments, I had my wild spell. I've been high on Adderall and acted crazy, but I didn't do anything criminal. In fact, I actually knew I'd been in my girlfriend's the prior 2 days. My mum and I had a sleepover with my cousin Ali and 2 other girlfriends. Right. But the thing is, the cops show up and the conservatorship begins. Okay, while she was sent to rehab against her will, the conservatorship is filed, okay? And, right, yes, by her father. Here you go. And a lawyer named Andrew Wallet, who eventually paid almost $500,000 a year for keeping me for my own money. I was forced to pay upward of $500,000 a year to my court-appointed lawyer, who wasn't allowed to replace. Right. The times I needed my father over the years, and I reached out and he wasn't there. But when it came time for him to be the conservatory, so the conservator, of course he was on the case. It's always been about the money, right? And the mum was not much better. Okay, here you go. Because whilst the mum, okay, is what the mother is doing at this point, okay, is writing, okay, her own memoir, okay, of her life with Britney Spears, her own daughter. Yes, here you go. As everything was falling apart for me, my mother was writing a memoir. She read about watching her beautiful daughter shaving off her hair and wondered how that was possible. She used to say I was the happiest girl in the world. Right. When I made the wrong move, it was like my mother wasn't concerned. She was sharing my every mistake on television, promoting her book. Right. Here you go. At this time, Jemlyn was a pregnant teenager. Brian was struggling to find his place in the world. That's her brother. And I'm still convinced he was letting our father down. And I was in full meltdown. Right. I was in full meltdown. Right. Yes. Right, that's her life at this time, and it's horrific how her family exploited her. This book could have been called again, How My Arsehole Family Exploited Me. Right, and they did. Right, and this bit here, okay? The conservatorship was supposedly created because I was incapable of doing anything at all, feeding myself, spending my own money, being a mother. So I was in a few weeks later, they had me shoot an episode of How I Met Your Mother and sent me on a grueling world tour. Right, sent a grueling world tour. Right, my dad took away my boyfriend. I couldn't drive. My mum took away my womanhood for me. It's a win-win for them. Exactly. Right. Win-win for them. So basically, while she's the one on stage performing, while she's the one, okay, doing How I Met Your Mother and Will and Grace, and by the way, that's a great episode. It showed, okay, on this. She is a natural comic. She's a wonderful actress, by the way. Her stint on Will and Grace was, I think, one of the best episodes, okay? But she says, a character called Peg. I've always remembered the episode because of her delivery, and her comic timing is on point. And that's not easy, by the way. To be a natural comedian, she actually has that in spades. Here you go. Here's my confession. I was so nerdy that I kept all my receipts in a bowl. Every week I would add up the expenses old school style to keep track of the deductions for taxes. Even when I was going through a wild spell, the fundamentals of who I was as a person was still there. To me, the bowl of receipts was proof I was capable of managing my affairs. I was who did heroin, got in a fist fights and threw TVs out of windows. Not me. I didn't steal anything or hurt anyone or do hard drugs. I was keeping track of my taxes. Not anymore. My father shoved a bowl of receipts, setting up things on the bar. I thought to let you know, I call the shots. You sit there in that chair, and I'll tell you what's going on. I looked at him with a growing sense of horror. I'm Britney Spears now, he said. Yeah, I'm Britney Spears now. And then, for 13 years, they had a track on her. They tracked her phone. They forced her, okay, to take contraceptive, which she didn't want. Okay, they forced that on her. Okay, they forced her to get the core fitted, right? And it's been here, okay. Every request between my father and Robin, the direction, so security, decided where I went and who with. Along with directions, security guards handed me pre-packaged envelopes of meds and watched me take them. They put parental controls on my iPhone. Everyone was scrutinised and controlled everything. I would go to sleep early, then would wake up and do what they told me. And again and again and again, it was like Groundhog Day. I did that for 13 years. And the reason she went along with it was for her children. Essentially, if she played good, if she did what they said, if she was nicey, okay, and performed on stage like a little puppet, and did the Pop Idol, so the X Factor, and How I Met Your Mother, and all the other shows, and all those tours, she would get a chance to see her children. Right. And she does not hesitate at pointing out the double standard which she endured. Here we are, okay? Right. Other people, and by other people I mean men, were afforded that freedom. Male rockers were rolling late to award shows, and we thought that made them cooler. Male pop stars were sleeping a lot with lots of women, and it was awesome. Ken was leave me alone with two babies who wanted to go smoke pot and record a rap song, right, for big ass in Portuguese, and they took them away from me, and he had Detailed magazine calling him Dad of the Year. Paparazzi who stalked and tormented me for months sued me for almost $250,000 to run over his foot in my car one time. I was trying to escape him. We settled. I had to give him a lot of money. Right. When Justin cheated on me and acted sexy, it was seen as cute. But when I wore a sparkly bodysuit, I had Dan Sawyer making me cry on national TV. Interview making me this made people criticising my costumes, and a governor's wife saying she wanted it to end my life. Yeah, that's what she had to endure. Absolutely. This book is absolutely heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. Here you go. And when after the conservatorship ends, when she finds out, okay, what she didn't even realise at the time, okay, the level of detail that was going into her life. Okay, absolutely. Here you go. A lot of people would say, oh, your life was saved. No, not really. The way you look at it is perspective. My music was my life, and conservatorship was deadly for me that it crushed my soul. Right. And during the conservatorship, I've been in and out of studios recording. During that conservatorship, two people kept track of where I was going to use a toilet in a recording studio. I'm not even kidding. I read after that my father and Lou Taylor's company TriStar have been involved with the security companies they hired. Black box and monitoring and viewing calls and texts coming out and going into my cell phone, including private texts, with my boyfriend and my lawyer at the time and my own kids, and worse, that my father even had put a bug in my home. In my own home, that was part of the control. Here you go. Yeah, under so much control. Right. Of course, okay, she started to exert some control over life. Once again, she was punished for it. She was sent to rehab. Right. She was sent to rehab. Here you go. And for maybe a month or two. Here you go. My father said if I didn't go, then I have to go to court and I'll be embarrassed. He said, we'll make you look like an effing idiot, and trust me, you will not win. It's better me telling you to go versus a judge in court telling you. First of all, blackmail. I was being gaslit. I was afraid they were trying to kill me. I never stood up to my dad in all those years. I never said no to anyone. My no in that room that day really pissed my dad off. They forced me to go. They had my back against the wall. I had no choice. Right. And they kept her locked up in a rehab facility for months. For absolute months. Right. That's what people have said. Why didn't you call earlier? Why didn't you end the conservatorship earlier? Why didn't you assert control? Why didn't you call and try to get another lawyer? Right. It's the control. It's they gaslit her. They drugged her. Okay. They gave her prescription medication. Okay. Now I've got a question. Okay, about what exactly was in those prescriptions. They kept her on a tight leash for all these years. Okay. She was under their control. People have said, okay, why did it take you so long to actually make that call to say I want a lawyer to end my conservatorship? Took more courage than even I can imagine. Under their thumb for 13 years. By this point, ending her 20s, going into her 30s, a third decade was basically controlled by this until she entered her 40s and then actually made a shot, chance to actually end it all. Imagine a decade under people's control. That's your third decade. That's the decade, okay, you're meant, well, hey, to actually be figuring out the rest of your life. She never had that. She absolutely never had that. Right. And the thing is this, is when she returns from rehab, there's kind of a moment of her awakening too, okay? Of her standing up a lot more. Here you go. Right. When I finally returned from rehab and my dog and my kids, I was ecstatic. Guess who wanted to come and visit me the first week? I was back, my family. Here you go. We're so proud of you, Britney, my dad said. You did it. Now we all want to come and stay with you. By this point, I could see through the bullshit. I knew what he was really saying was, I can't wait to see your money. I mean you. Here you go. Right. Yes. That's the thing. As soon as she's back from rehab, it's we want to come and stay with you. We want to kind of move into your house. Just to make sure, okay, that, you know, you're under our control, Britney. Under our control. Right. Oh. Right. Here you go. And finally, she makes that leap. Chapter 48. About 15 pages key towards before this book ends. I've been lied to for the past 13 years. The whole world knew I needed a new lawyer. And finally, I realised the same thing. To try and take back control of my life. I reached out to my social media team, to my friend Kate, to help finding one. So I got Matthew Rosengart on board, and he was amazing. Right. Here you go. And he's absolutely pulled, and Michael and him take absolutely no prisoners with this. And she does mention also getting a free movement, Britney. The fact is that in all this, Britney was very, very internalized, okay? That when she found out about the Free Britney movement, which I remember that on social media, okay? The individual who started that, I cannot remember their name. But I remember that first video, okay, where they were crying about freeing Britney. And then they were ridiculed, but I remember what came next, the Free Britney movement. I do remember that, seeing that unfold. So that actually gave her courage too. It's a case of people outside can see this. The whole world can see this. Now I can do this. I can absolutely do this. Once she realised, okay, her fans would support her no matter what, she was spurred into action. Okay? She was spurred into action, went to court, and then the conservatorship ended. And one thing is this, becomes my sister Jamie Lynn, Jamie Lynn had a different kind of thing. Jamie Lynn came into the world, okay, when the family, okay, was getting better in better socioeconomic circumstances. It's throughout this book, she's quite bitter towards Jamie Lynn, because in a way, Jamie Lynn had the life which Britney wanted. She was able, okay, she actually even applauded, okay, for becoming a young mum. And even when Zoe 101 was cancelled, her show, which I've never actually seen, but I have heard of it, that kind of thing. People were like, well, she's a young mum, she's going to make it work. And even though Jamie Lynn has also written a book, which I know I have not read, but it was heavily, heavily criticised, and I might try to get hold of it. It's, even though she was very critical about Jamie Lynn, at the end of this book, she does show that she still does love her sister. Okay? Not the parents, because they can both go burn. Here you go. Jamie Lynn clearly suffered in her family home. She grew up as a child of divorce, which I did not. It seems that she didn't get a lot of parenting, and I know it was hard to try to sing and act and to mimic it in the shadow of a sibling when he got most of the family's attention, but a lot of the world's. My heart goes out to her and those reasons, right? But at the same time, she's still very, very critical. And it ends with Britney, a conservatorship, now trying to live a life. And the interesting thing is this, okay? Someone, okay, who reviews books is the writing style of this book. As I said before, one big narrative, one big breath. This is a life story. Even though this book could have been, her story could be a trilogy or by itself. Even though she's only in her early 40s now, its writing style is very simplistic and juvenile. It's like mentally, Britney has said the society can keep me 17 forever, but in a way, okay, she actually is. She's been controlled, molded, condemned for just being her for so many years. It's like she does not know who she is. The writing style is very simplistic and juvenile and also lacks insight. I mean, it just rushes through things but being very, very interesting. Her work in television, the film Crossroads, which of her music videos, it rushes through the music videos, which has been quite interesting. I actually have a favourite music video song of Britney's. It's Stronger. It's my favourite Britney Spears song. I would like some insight on that. It's rushed, 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 rushed. And which I think is a shame. Because one thing is this, okay, her life story is so sad. For all the money in the bank that she has, for all the control she's been under, it's a tragic story. But what it lacks, okay, is true insight. At very, very few points as she turn around, okay, I even admit that she even has a problem. Right. And that it's clear that she does, because she has so much talent. But she's also needs people who are around her who care about her and will not exploit her, which sadly virtually everyone in her life has. So my heart does break for Britney Spears. And I truly, truly hope that whatever she does it for herself. I mean, she's so talented. If she ever chooses to record another album or tour again, absolutely, her fans will support her. She's a natural actress. I'd love to see her in some films, independent films too, to kind of like really kind of test her, see what she can do. And I think whatever she does, she's going to be absolutely amazing. But it's got to be for herself, for no one else. Britney needs to live for herself now. And if she chooses never ever to perform again, her fans will respect that too. She's always going to be loved. And I'm signing off here. It's a very, very long review. Bye now.